All right, people, this is it. All right, I'm done. I'm done. This is it. I've read through all of the comments of my last video. I've put together all of the most popular ideas, and I've created the ultimate Springtrap concept for Dead by Daylight. You can all shut the fuck up about how stupid my ideas are and how they won't work in the game and how I suck. All right, this is it. This is what you guys want. I do recommend watching my first video though to get my initial thoughts and to understand the background behind the character, because this video is purely the result of the Five Nights at Freddy's and DBD communities coming together and being incredibly creative. Honestly, like, there were so many great ideas. It was super hard to choose between all of them, but there had to be compromises. Even my ideas got taken away, okay? I wasn't allowed to do my own ideas, so I'm not very happy about that, but I did it anyway, so thanks. This is a disclaimer though. It's just for fun. Everybody lighten the fuck up, okay? I'm in no way affiliated with DBD or Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not a game designer or anything. I just think it's a cool idea and I want to fuck around on YouTube. Is that alright? Is that fucking alright? No? I don't care. I'm doing it anyway because it's fucking hilarious. If you end up enjoying this, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to do these for a ton of other characters that the DBD community wants to see, as well as my normal gameplay videos, so you might want to stick around. But, without further ado, it's time to introduce the most fucked up killer in DBD.
The Machine.
Yeah, that's right, I changed the name, alright? You happy now? The animatronic wasn't good enough, so it's the Machine, okay? Happy, you little shits? So obviously, something's a little bit different already, and that is the skin. I decided to start with the skin idea, which is the Toxic Springtrap cosmetic, something a ton of you guys suggested, and I googled it. I absolutely loved it. This is the reason I decided to make another video, because I was like, okay, you guys know a lot more than me. Let's put all your ideas in. This looks sick. When this comes out, if this comes out, I will be buying it straight away, because this would not be the default cosmetic. This would be probably a purchasable cosmetic. Probably be one of the more expensive ones as well, but it looks pretty beautiful, so I'd definitely buy it. So let's move on from the skin. I think the concept we've come up with together is probably one of the most brutal killers in the game, and from speaking with a lot of you, I think he has to be, because Five Nights at Freddy's is so controversial, and a lot of DVD players wouldn't want it in the game. A lot of Five Nights at Freddy's players wouldn't want it to mix with DBD. The killer needs to be incredible and please both communities in order for people to accept the partnership as a positive one. So I'll start by reading out the power, and then I'll explain it in a bit more detail. The power is called You Will Not Be Spared. You start the trial with 4 spring-lock suits located in the environment. Whilst carrying a survivor and standing in front of a spring-lock suit, press and hold the power button to place them inside and activate the suit. Each suit starts with 4 integrity tokens. When wearing a suit, survivors suffer the exhausted and hindered status effects. They also suffer from reduced repair and healing speeds, but cannot be damaged by the machine. Survivors may attempt to escape the suit or rescue a teammate by successfully completing 5 skill checks in succession. Each time the survivor wearing the suit fails a skill check, they lose 1 integrity token. Survivors attempting to rescue their teammate from suits do not damage the integrity. However, failing a skill check will cause them to suffer from the exposed status effect and notify the killer. Escaping from a spring-lock suit when the exit gates are closed will grant the endurance status effect for 10 seconds. A survivor wearing a spring-lock suit is automatically sacrificed when they run out of tokens or attempt to leave the trial. There's a special ability called Suffer Now, where you hold the active ability button to teleport to an unused spring-lock suit. Upon arrival, survivors within the machine's terror radius experience a jump scare effect and scream, revealing their location. So to avoid confusion, let's talk about it in a bit more detail. You have 4 spring-lock suits. A lot of people suggested 8. The reason I've gone with 4 is because it stops survivors being constantly placed in suits throughout the game, which would be super annoying. Alright, you get 4 chances to kill survivor using the spring-lock suit. After that, you just carry on as normal. I made it so that the suit is not super OP, okay? If you're not good at skill checks, you can get your friends to help you get out of the suit, and they cannot hurt you. That is an important thing, because I thought people could just be absolute dickheads and abuse it and just kill each other in the suit, which would be funny, but it wouldn't really help with the gameplay. Although I've made it so that teammates can help each other, there is also the risk of the exposed status effect if you mess up a skill check. So it's in the survivor's interest to help the other survivor properly and not fuck up the skill checks, basically, which I think is quite nice and quite balanced, and it helps both survivors and the killer. I've put the endurance status effect there once you escape the suit. That is so that the killer can't just camp you while you're escaping the suit and down you straight away and then put you in another one. I have removed it once the gates are open though, because otherwise, if you think about it, you could have 4 survivors all in suits, walking up to the exit gates, escaping from their suits and then leaving without having any risk of the killer hitting them. So I thought that I'd get rid of the endurance status effect when the endgame starts. If you're not aware, the endurance status effect is what you get from Borrowed Time and Metal of Man. So for a few seconds after you escape from the suit, you can't be hit by the killer, basically. So the animation when you get sacrificed in a Springlock suit would be pretty vile, kind of similar to this animation I found on YouTube. The link to the full animation is down below, and I think this is what you all had in mind, right? This is how survivors should die to Springtrap. Teleport ability is there for a few reasons. It's there for mobility. I hate playing on big maps, and this makes me hate it a little less, but I've also combined it with the jump scare ability that a lot of you guys were talking about. People love that idea. There were a few different variations, and I think this one works the best. The jump scare in mind would be similar to this. That's the jump scare from the games. I think it's a really nice jump scare, and I think it would work really well in Dead by Daylight combined with the scream effect and revealing the survivor's location. I think it's a nice little compromise, and it works well. Thank you guys for suggesting it. I'm really happy with it. I think it's a million times better than my idea, although I still think my idea was pretty good. I just want to say thank you because it is awesome, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So that's the power. Next, let's talk perks. There was one perk that everybody wanted, all right? I heard a ton of comments saying it was a crime not to include it, so here we go. It's called
I Always Come Back.
The way this perk would work is that each time you get stunned or blinded, you get a token. The max is 5 tokens, but the effect doesn't activate until all gens are done. Once the gates are powered, you get a speed boost to movement and vaulting, which is 3% for each token you've got. So the max speed boost you'd get is the same as having 3 tokens of play with your food, which is pretty fast, and you can't lose it, which is insane. I hope it's not too OP, but hopefully making it at the end game reduces that kind of OP nature of play with your food. You also get a reduction to basic attack cooldown, and that's both successful and miss attacks, which is a maximum reduction of 25% if you've got maximum tokens. I love endgame perks, so I really thank everybody that contributed this idea. It was a combination of a ton of different people's ideas, so it's really great to see that come together in a perk that I'd personally probably run every time. If you've watched my Pyramid Head video, Endgame is the best game, in my opinion. It's so much fun, and this would help a ton. So yeah, it's a great idea. The next perk is Afton Robotics, and this is based on the idea that William Afton created the animatronics, so he'd be an engineer, right? So it makes sense that he'd have at least one generator perk and would be good at kind of stopping gen progress. So when you guys were suggesting this, I had a think, and I was like, I'd really like it to be a perk like Pop Goes the Weasel. So you could use it with Pop, maybe you could use it with Overcharge, and just have a absolutely disgusting generator build. So with this one, kicking a generator reduces its efficiency for 30 seconds of repairs. So that means that it's not 30 seconds from the kick, it's 30 seconds of people touching it. The repair speed would be reduced by 25% for each survivor that's working on it. I made a similar perk to this in my last video, but this one's a bit more refined and it works a bit more with the character lore. So again, thanks to everyone that mentioned Afton Robotics and kind of suggested that it would be a generator perk. Really great idea. Finally, we have Hex Special Delivery! So I enjoyed my version from the last video. A lot of you disagreed with its effectiveness. Some of you liked it, some of you didn't like it, but I thought I'd combine it with someone's idea for another trapped Hex perk, similar to Hex Haunted Ground and kind of similar to Hex Retribution. So with this, there would be one trapped totem in the map, which when it's cleansed, the next survivor who enters your terror radius would scream. That would reveal their location and they would gain the exposed status effect. So basically it's just a fun one because they bring themselves to you and then they become incredibly vulnerable, which works with the name Special Delivery. I think it's super nice and super evil, so it works really well with the character. If you combine the power and the perks, I think the machine would be pretty damn strong. I don't think people would have any problem doing the Adept achievement with him, basically. But, a big but. I said it once already. I'm saying it again because nobody fucking listens. This was just for fun. It was based on what people commented on my last video. That's it. It's not serious. So you, yes you, I'm looking at you, right now, you watching the video, before you comment, saying how dumb I am because it will ruin the game and it will kill Five Nights at Freddy's and lead to the end of the universe. I'm not a dev. I have no power with the game, all right? I have nothing to do with Five Nights at Freddy's, nothing to do with DBD. I can't change anything, all right? It's a fun community idea. If you watch my other videos, nothing I do is serious, all right? I'm not a serious gameplay guy. I have fun. I make jokes and I do stupid characters when I'm playing games, all right? Calm the fuck down, my dude. All right, with that kind of speech out of the way, let's talk about the Mori. The Mori is super important to DBD players, all right? It shows us that the devs aren't totally scared of showing some absolute brutality. But recently, it is kind of like they're scared of showing some absolute brutality, to be honest. I feel like they've been a bit lackluster and they need a bit more kind of oomph behind them. You know, they need a bit more gore. I mean, realistically, they could give killers Mortal Kombat style Moris. They could be like fatalities, completely over the top, still fun, and just absolutely amazing. But they haven't. So my idea is kind of in that vein. It's ridiculous, but I love it. So I did have an issue coming up with the Mori, and that's because the Springlock suits have a pretty amazing sacrifice animation already. Like, from what you guys said, it would always crush the survivors, and that is brutal as fuck, right? That is gory as hell. Can you really beat that in a Mori? I think I have. I honestly think I've beat it, and I think what should happen is the machine should try to stuff the survivor inside the suit with him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm being serious. I think he should open the locks, put the survivor inside the suit, unlock it shut, blood everywhere, nobody on the floor. It just lives inside the suit with him now. Genuinely, I think that's what they should do. It's fucking disgusting, but it's super cool. I mean, realistically, I don't think they'd actually do that because, like I said, they're a bit scared of being too gory at the moment. But I think it's a pretty fun idea, and I'd love to see it. But that's it. That's my last video on the subject, unless he gets brought into the game or there's any update on the campaign. If there is, I will be sure to let you guys know and talk about it. But for now, that is it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.